My ladies, you've got to join me on the Body Breakthrough Club. What is that? That is my private Facebook group just for you. It's where we get together as like-minded women that want to have a breakthrough with our bodies. Hello. So it's where we lose our belly, not our mind. I'll say that again. We lose our belly, not our mind, but we master our mind to lose our belly. So in the Body Breakthrough Club, you'll find me there. I post all my tips and tricks, some nourishing foods that you're going to want to eat. I've got supplements that you're going to want to take. I've got tips and tricks on some things that I do behind the scenes that I don't tell just everybody. So go in there, join us at the Body Breakthrough Club on Facebook. It's private. I do have to approve you, but it's a lot of fun. We're building it strong, and all my goodies will be in there. Some of the exercises are there. Some of our past 5-day challenges are in there. So don't miss out. Just join us. It's free. You can meet some friends. There's a lot of networking. I found a lot of the women in there have done business with each other. So you can network, sell, get your message out, and also learn a thing or two. So join me there. Body Breakthrough Club. Be strong, be fierce, and what? Be you. Boom. Boom. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Power Hour. I am your host, Lauren M. Powers. Yes, thank you. Your faith and fitness queen. I'm here today. I've got lots to go over, but by special request, I like to review what I've done the past week, kind of bring everybody up to speed because my life is so crazy, action-packed that I just like to share before we get started with our special guest. But let's see what I've got here. I went to 4 in-person networking events for women entrepreneurs. There's one that was at the eWomen last week, and that's where I actually launched my brand new brand, you guys, how to become an iconic brand. And this is my new programs where I'll be coaching mainly women how to step into their greatness and become an icon in their own niche, whatever that may be. There's some gals that have the happy tummy. It was super fun. Yeah, there I am just launching the brand because, we've got pictures there. Yeah. Speaking from front of the room, boom, you can see my hands going up in the air. It's kind of funny. Diana Sabatino, who is our executive managing director, she won't let go of the mic. So we arm wrestle for it. This is pretty fun. But that was one of the events I went to, and that was amazing. There was, I don't know, maybe 70 women in the room, and we each get to share through a minute networking of what we're doing, who we are, what we offer, and how people can help us. So there's always an ask involved. So it's super great. If you do go to a lot of networking events, you guys, people that are listening, you always want to make sure you have an ask, like how you can help one another and collaborate. And that's just a big deal. What else do we have there? I went to a HeartLink meeting. Oh yeah, well, there's another one, GSFE, that was Global Society of Female Entrepreneurs. I'm also a member there. I am in the Beverly Hills chapter, but this event was actually held down in San Diego. Another red carpet event. I feel like I'm always on red carpets. I'm telling you, that was a lot of fun. Again, the same thing, networking, beautiful dinner, and just collaborating with other like-minded professional people. So important. I just love meeting new people, getting the message out, and just seeing what everyone's up to. It's a lot of fun for me. And what else? There you go. Yes, the HeartLink Network. That was awesome. That was Dawn Billings, who is the founder of HeartLink, which I've never got to meet her. And she gave us an amazing speech, told her story. What a powerful woman. But it was exciting to be part of that because at that event, she actually stepped down from being the founder and honored my good friend Caprice Kabar as the new president. And that was just kind of a testimonial on how she never gives up. You know what I mean? She just keeps empowering women week after week, month after month. And now she's the president of the whole organization. So congratulations to my friend Caprice. I hope you're listening. If not, I'll tell you about it. And what else? There we go. LA Fashion Week. Yes, I also got to be VIP at the LA Fashion Week, which was up in Beverly Hills as well. And that was amazing. Gosh, there was over 1,000 something people there. So many different artists showing their lines. I think there's more pictures, I believe. Raleigh, because it was fun. I was literally on the yellow carpet. It was yellow, not red this time, for like 2 hours. As soon as I started posing, this is pretty funny. I took off my jacket and started posing. All the photographers just go crazy. I don't know. People just love that. So there I was in all my glory, showing the biceps in the back. I was dressed by my friend Sita Couture, who also she actually made a gown for me called the Chi Chi Maxi, and I got to flaunt that all night. Got many compliments, and it was just fun, just being part of fashion as well as fitness as well as faith. That was speaking of faith. I also rode my Harley. This was just yesterday to church. I just got it out of the shop and it got some tune-ups. So it was running great, got it all polished up, rode to church, and then got to take pictures with a lot of people, from little babies all the way to my pastor. So I would really like to acknowledge my pastor, Rochelle Francie. You guys, if you don't know who this woman is, she's amazing. She's on Instagram. She is the pastor, her and her husband, of Oceans Church, where it's completely changed and up-leveled my personal faith. I'm just so honored. I'm going to have a personal lunch with her tomorrow. To get to know her, because I'm pretty new at the church and I volunteer. I was volunteering in the new lounge and selling one of the pastor's books yesterday. And every other week I'm security now at church and just getting involved. And I'm just very, very honored because it's changed my life, just up-leveling my faith. I changed the name to Faith and Fitness Queen. I mean, everything just since going to Oceans Church. So I just wanted to share that with everyone because it was just really fun to have her pose on my Harley. She's like, I'm not riding on this thing, Laurie. There we are. Yeah, she's amazing. Anyways, oh yeah, and then one more thing. Happy Halloween coming up. This was just fun with my other good friend, Mary Johnson. We were always just taking fun pictures. And it's just nice to have balance, you guys, to spend time with good friends and kind of masterminding and just always enjoying yourself. And I think that's so important with today's times, is to really just keep that positive energy, get out in the sunlight, take a walk on the beach, whatever it is that fuels you. I'm just here to let you know it's very, very important. Riding my Harley, I got energized. I went to a biker bar after church. There's a live music and a band, and I hadn't been there in a couple of years. And I was just there to connect with old friends, see new ones. And just being out, it puts a smile on my face, and I love just spreading kindness and joy. And speaking of that, I've got a gal that does just that. She's so amazing, you guys. You're not going to want to miss this. Please jump on. Let us know where you're from. Say hello to us because she's awesome. There she is, Miss Laurie Davis. Let's give her a hand. Yes. Yes, this woman is so awesome, you guys. She speaks right in my alley about self-care, self-love. What's the missing link is the title of her topic today. I'd love you guys to ask her questions while she's here, whether it's on the replay or live now, because I know a lot of people can't get on the live, but I know we have some of your raving fans, Laurie. But she's from Canada, and she's been in business like a million years. She's still in business. She's an entrepreneur, left corporate, became the self-care queen, as I'm going to call you. That's my branding for you, Laurie. And she's awesome. She's got a lot of insight, a lot of info. And so I'm just going to stop talking now and let you just dive in. Let's go. Self-worth, the missing link. Boom. What does that mean?
Wow. Well, first of all, Lauren, thank you for having me on the show. I was so excited to be able to be on the other side of the chair today.
Yeah, you're right?
I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, always. And so it's fun to be on the other side. So thank you for asking me here. And I
Absolutely.
got up this morning. Are you ready? I got up, no internet. I had a workshop to do. I had 2 clients to talk to and the show. And I said to my husband, go get some gas because we hadn't filled up on the weekend. Go get some gas. We have to go visit my friend Lynn. She's 40 minutes away. I need her internet. So here I am in her den. And
There,
but we talked about that. No excuses. You find a way, you make a
there you
way.
go. That's
I
right.
could have used that as the biggest excuse in the world, right?
You could have canceled. I would
So
have flown to Canada and beat
yeah,
you.
and I'd have been in big trouble with you. I know
You
that.
would have
So
been
I
in
just,
big trouble. That's
skedaddled
right. Yeah. So you
because
found a
when you've
way.
been invited, yeah, you show up, right?
There, you know
So
what? That's a good point, Lord. Let's talk about that just for a second because
yeah,
that's so
okay,
important.
sure,
Not everybody understands that. You know what I mean? And it's that commitment, taking a stand and following through. That's how entrepreneurs succeed, or they don't. One or the other, because it's like taking a stand, making a commitment, and actually showing up like you did. You found a way, you got the gas, you did this, you drove to your friend's house, and you made it happen. And you're here live, you were on time, you got set up, and you followed through with what you said you wanted to do. And I think that is so huge that some people, it seems easy, but it's not everybody does it, right? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
that's one of the missing
Oh,
links to success, I find,
mhm,
is that
mhm,
take action part. That implementation is just so huge with
yeah.
whatever you guys are doing.
Well, it's about integrity, and
Right?
integrity is doing what you say you will do, no excuses. And we can't always do what we say because life gets in the way. Things
Yes.
happen, and sometimes we get derailed. So, but I've always worked really hard at that. I've not always been successful at it, but it's one thing that really matters to me a lot. So, self worth, the missing link, was a brainchild of mine in 1997. This would be after working with people for about 25 years at that point in time. And I came home from work one day and I said to Ron, who is my partner and my business partner, and we've been together 30 years, it'll be in January. Our company will be 30 years old in
Wow.
2022. So we've been in this
The
business of
game.
self worth for 30 years. Okay.
That's a long time.
I know. I came home and I said to him, you know what? I just realized something. It's like an invention. I'm not as lucky as the guy who invented the intermittent windshield washer wipers, but I feel like I've invented something. So he said, well, what's up? I said, well, here's what I know. Number one, most people are walking around feeling like there's something wrong with them. Have you ever had that experience, Lauren? Like, what do you know about that? Like,
I know a
everybody,
lot about that, especially with my
you know,
clients. Yeah, I'm in
right.
the fitness side of it. Yeah, so many women
Right.
look in the mirror and they loathe themselves and say these
I
negative
know.
self-talks every day. Oh
I
my
know.
gosh, Lori, it's so sad. I mean, we all have that chatter, you know what I mean? That we're not enough, we're too fat, we're too old, we're too skinny, we don't have enough money, we don't have enough time. I've heard every excuse, I'm sure, in the book, doing what we do and helping women, break through these limiting beliefs and
Hmm.
gain their self-worth and realize that they are enough and that they deserve this and all of these things. So we're speaking the same language, girlfriend. So keep going. I love it.
Right. I don't know. So I said, everybody's walking around. Even when I was a school teacher and I had little kids in kindergarten, they were walking around thinking there was something wrong with them. So
Oh,
it can happen really early in life.
mhm.
And
Oh
then the
yeah.
second thing, many people lack confidence, self confidence, which is not the same thing as self esteem. Self worth is being people with tons of confidence, but they don't have any self worth because nothing's ever good enough. They can't ever do it big enough, better enough. So, but self confidence and as people in business, it's about taking risks. So, have you ever taken any risks?
Every
Uh,
day.
there's,
Hello.
there's a stupid. There's a stupid question,
But that's part of it. And it's not, these things you're talking
right?
about aren't always, they're not always easy. And if it was easy, I believe everybody would do it. Everybody would be walking around with this self-confidence and self-worth, but it's not. It takes work. And I know that you have action plans that
Absolutely.
help people get through some of these and have breakthroughs and
Yeah.
transformation and get results. And it is a step-by-step strategy and it's a process. And you've been doing it 30 years. Man, God bless you.
And then the third
Literally.
thing, yeah, the third thing is most people are poor communicators. Just because we
Mm,
just because we can
wow.
talk, we think we're good communicators, but there's 7 aspects to being a good communicator. So talking is just one of the 7. But communication is key in every relationship if you think about it, personally, professionally.
Absolutely.
Is when you're engaging with another person, communication is key. Well, most of us communicate from what the level of our self-worth is. So if I have low self-worth, I probably am not a very good communicator either. They kind of all go hand in hand. So I said to Ron, you know what? This is what I found out. So I'm going to do something about it. And he says, well, what's the plan? Now, my husband is an aircraft maintenance engineer. Okay.
Okay.
Intellect, analytical,
And I was going to say that
right?
engineering brain.
Every screw in that airplane had to be perfectly in there. So
Yes.
naturally, he says to me, well, what's your plan? I said, I don't have a plan. I don't even know what I'm
Do
talking
it.
about here.
It's called reverse engineer, right? You know
I
the
said,
end results, and we go work backwards.
right. I
Right.
said, I don't have a plan. I have no idea. But I said, I think I'm onto something. So he says,
Huge.
how can I support you? This is a very grassroots story because he said, well, how can I support you? And I said, well, we had a little cabin at the time and it belonged to friends of ours. They had moved to California actually. And we're in Canada. So we took care of the cabin and we got to use it. So I said, take me to the cabin and I'll figure this thing out.
I love
So we
it.
go to the cabin. We're there for a weekend. By noon Sunday, I still had nothing. He's coming in. He's saying, "Well, so how you doing?" I had some paper and some markers, and he said, "So how you doing?" I said, "I got nothing because I don't even know what I'm talking about."
It's like writer's block, right?
Right,
Authors trying to write a book and blank pages. I get
right.
it.
And then I thought, okay, why didn't I? I started asking the questions to myself. Why
Okay.
didn't I have any self worth?
Mm.
I looked like I did, but I could look great on the outside and
Right.
talk and put myself out there. And then I felt like crap on the inside. It didn't match. I'd
Wow.
walk into a room full of women where I had done the work they had done, top performer in sales and marketing, and didn't feel like I belonged there. Have you ever had that feeling that you went somewhere and you didn't feel like you fit in?
Kind of out of place.
Totally, even though I'd
Yeah.
done all
Very
the work.
common. Very common. Yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, long story short, I developed 10 workshops. I went home and I grabbed 2 of my girlfriends. I finally figured out what I needed to do, ask some questions. So, I got this little workbook together. I go home, I find 2 girlfriends that are trashed because their husbands had left with, the secretaries and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, those stories.
And
Yes.
I said, I know you're not doing anything on Wednesday night. So you're going to come over to my place. And they said, what for? I said, I need a couple of guinea pigs. I think I'm onto something, but I got to figure this out. So they came over and we started the
Honest.
process, right? Oh, yeah. Started the process.
Perfect.
6 weeks later, I had 28 people coming to the group
Wow.
because they were experiencing the results.
Good. Okay.
And Self Worth, the Missing Link, has evolved from 10 workshops to well over 400 that I've created to support people with their
Wow.
healing, their learning, their personal and professional development.
Okay.
So
400 workshops.
over 400 now.
Wow.
And I'm about to create another 100 for an entrepreneurial program that I'll be delivering.
That is amazing. So out of the 400 workshops, like what are some of your key like elements if someone wanted to
Yeah.
jump in?
Well, the thing is, it started out with just anybody and everybody, right? And
Okay.
then mostly women, because that's who my connects were at the time. But
Sure.
then I had a woman come up to me and say, Laurie, my 14-year-old son could really use this information and the support because we only meet with our clients once a week for an hour. We don't put more than 6 people in a workshop. So it's very customized. And I said, I could do that. I was a teacher. I know how to write curriculum. So all my workshops have hard copy backup. It's all rich content. So I said, sure. So I went back to the drawing board and I created another 40 workshops just for teenagers. So we
Wow.
have a youth program. I also have a program for young children. Like I said, those little 5-year-olds, some of
Mhm.
them are really shut down already. So
Oh,
what's that about? Right?
that's
We have
key.
40 workshops called Responsible Wellness. You'd probably love to look at that. I
Okay.
hired a professional back in the day,
Mhm.
and we created 40 workshops just to teach people how to take responsibility for their wellness. I have a couples program. We have a parenting program. 10 ways to grow your business, 10 ways to build confident children. And it just kept like a, it was like, I don't know, you're probably not old enough to know this, but one time
Try me.
we used to have this bran muffin recipe, and
Okay.
you'd make a pan of bran muffins and then you put the dough back in the fridge and it would kind of grow. And a week later, you'd have enough dough to do another batch of bran muffins. Well, that's how I feel about my stuff.
Just kept
It's like
evolving.
it just kept evolving and it
Beautiful.
worked. So
I
it's
love it.
educational workshops that have been specifically designed to support us with our healing, learning, personal and professional development. It's like a one-stop shop.
Wow. Good for you. That's yeah, people need this, to do the work. These things just don't magically happen. We just don't magically get healed for whatever trauma or tragedy
No,
we've
no.
experienced, this thing called life, right? I've been to several courses myself and I keep it best. People are like, you're already a leader. How many leadership courses do you need to go to, right? But I always find that you can always, keep learning and growing and developing at any age, whatever it is, and getting through some of, past traumas. And like they said, from 0 to 4, I think is when you're most influenced in your life by your parents. And then from 4 to 8, it's something by your school. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
examples, like if Johnny's in first grade and the teacher says, Johnny, you're terrible at math. You're always going to be terrible at math. He grows up thinking he's terrible at math. You know what I mean? So we have to reprogram the young, especially now. And I love what you said about your take responsibility for your health, especially right now, you guys. We're in a global pandemic, right? So what should be the most important thing? Our health, how to combat this thing and stay, on the other side of it. And it's so important. So many people forget that. I see people out, smoking and drinking and eating junk food, and getting obesity is huge. I don't know about in Canada, but here it's just crazy. And these,
Same.
people are just like closing their eyes. They're blinded to what's happening. And they're, oh, go get a jab and then they're going to be fine. No, you have to take care of yourself. So
Hmm.
important. It's just so important. You have a workshop for that. I love it.
40 of them.
40 just, just in that one category.
Yeah.
And then it says all
Well,
under the umbrella of your self-worth missing
the
link.
missing link.
All of
Yes.
all of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, if I don't think I deserve to be healthy, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing things to keep me from getting healthy. And everything I know now, I had a theory back then, but now
Mhm.
it's a fact. They're recently saying, well, if you are an addict, it's probably because you had trauma when you were a child. Hello, I knew that 30 years ago, and I just hear people now talking about that. But see, we know it's important to take care of ourselves. We know it's important to love ourselves.
Right.
But nobody ever really showed me how to love myself.
Like how to do it. Right.
No,
How
the
to
how.
do
So we're the how-to people. You want to learn how to do that? We know how to do that. Um, we have 4 workshops called The Art of Loving Myself. It's techniques and tools and all that kind of stuff. Because to me, information is irrelevant if you cannot implement it,
apply it. Right.
right?
Exactly. Yes.
So we could
100%.
go to 1,000 workshops or read 1,000 books, but if we don't have a
Take
system to implement it, you've just wasted your
boom.
time.
Boom.
Boom! I love that.
Yes. Yeah. You waste
Yeah,
your time.
boom.
That's so That's and you know what? And I've been guilty of that too. I've been to so many things and even bought programs and this and that. And then you get home, you get overwhelmed, life gets in the way, as you mentioned, and then you never take action or implement, and then you wonder why you don't get results. Like,
Well,
hello.
if you're in a room with 50 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, and you're listening to this fantastic speaker, which I was that person on the stage, and
Okay.
I've been in the audience.
Me
Guess
too.
what? I used to fly in, do a conference, fly out. As a matter of fact, in 2009, I was in 18 American cities
Wow.
speaking. Well, you know what? I used to fly in, fly out, never felt good about it. And the
Mm,
reason I didn't feel good about it, two things. One, there's only a 2% retention rate on the information that you remember. And if I opened up a can of worms, I didn't have any safety nets to support you after the fact. So I got off the stage. If you
really?
name a motivational speaker that has a reputation, I probably was on the same stage with that person because I'm that vintage. So I got off the stage, and that's when I went to the drawing board and said, enough of this. I'm going to create something to support people. So in 2009, when I went to those 18 American cities,
Hmm.
I was on a speaking roster out of Clemson University, South Carolina. I was the only Canadian on the speaking roster,
Okay.
and we would travel around and provide professional development for women. So now, 2009, I'm pumped. I can go talk, and if I open up a pit of snakes for somebody, they can come up to me, and I have something that I can support them with, which made
On the
my
back
speaking
end, yeah.
career even better.
Nice.
And I worked across all cultures. We were my core program's been translated into 4 languages: Chinese, French, Spanish, and German.
Wow.
So we worked, we became international in 2002 when I embraced this technology that you and I are using today. I was doing this in 2002.
Awesome. So you're like the
So that's my
innovator of all
brag.
that stuff because
That's my brag.
yeah, I love it. Everybody talks about, self-care and self-worth and all these things. They mention it, but I like that you're saying that you actually have the implementation and the techniques and the strategies and the plans in place in workshops. So it's kind of a step by step. Does it go in some sort of order, like your modules or that type of thing?
Yes.
Or I'm not
Yes.
familiar with your workshops on the back end,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'd love to take
Well,
a look.
yeah, like those 40 workshops in responsible wellness, that's 4 10-week modules. So that was my workshop this morning. I have a group in that program right now.
Hmm.
And we just said it. We just finished saying it. We all know what to do.
Right.
But if we're going to accomplish something, and you and I both know this, we didn't get where we are by ourselves. We
No.
had people help us
And support,
and
support.
support us
Mhm.
and, be our cheerleader, or however that was that people chose to support us, because we can't climb the high mountains by ourselves. And for some people, getting well is a big mountain after years and years of bad habits.
That's right.
Okay. And programming and conditioning. And now I want to do something different. Well, what you're talking about is changing core beliefs. And that takes work because I
Yeah,
can't do that for you. Right.
that's right. Yeah,
It's like going
exactly.
to the bathroom. Sorry.
Well, no,
It's
I
like
was just
going,
gonna say I mentioned that earlier as changing those
yeah.
limiting beliefs, that negative self-talk, those words that we use to describe ourselves, and we look in the mirror and we say this, this, and that, and it's just like that is years, usually sometimes built up of that. I had a woman, it was a Canadian woman, actually, and I use her a lot as an example because it was the most powerful, impactful thing that I've come across in my personal one-on-one VIP coaching. And that what she said to herself, Laurie, in the mirror every single day since she was 12 was so horrific. I say this, if one person said one of those things to me, I'd knock them into next week, right? But she told herself these things, and I was crying listening to them one after another. And went down this whole list on a daily thing. Talk about having the work and to unwind some of those things. And we had to take and strip down each one by one and replace it with a positive word. And so we just started changing all those limiting beliefs. In the meantime, what happens? She put on over 400 pounds because of the loathing. And yes, and that talk about
Mhm.
low self-worth and that self-care. And switching that all up. But she was willing to do the work. And I use her as an example and a testimonial because she did the work and she implemented, and we put it, she did what I said, let's put it that way, for the coaching, but actually, lost, over 300 pounds and was getting up dancing and had some
Wow.
positive sets and put post-its all over with the positive words and just whatever it took to get out of those years and years of that horrifying. I mean, and this is she's not alone. There's so many women now, and you've been doing this a lot longer than I have as far as helping other people break through some of these horrific, low self-esteem and low self-worth and those things that you're talking about, and no confidence, to hear what some of the trauma these people have gone through. It makes me cry. It really does. But I feel so empowered, like you, to really get in and do something about it, and really have passion to help women change these things, and that they are enough and they are worth it and they deserve it, and put their health first and make it a habit. This is stuff that I preach, and I know you and I can relate on this, because it's just so important, and it can be done. And you and I've seen it. You've probably seen it over the years of people that are successful going through your workshops, with the transformations have got to be so rewarding for you to keep doing this over 30 years. I mean, honestly.
Yes, it's been very rewarding, and very not so rewarding some of the time, because also when you're trying to pave the way, all right, pave the way. When I was a young woman in the classroom, like the word self-esteem, for example, Lauren, it didn't even become a word till the late 80s, early 90s. So when I was taking my teacher training, we never heard of any, we were never taught anything about how to empower children or build their value or anything like that. And I remember having a teacher said to me once, "You know what, Laurie Jeffers," that was my maiden name, "you're never going to amount to anything."
Wow.
Right? And I believed her.
Yes.
Because she's a person in a position of authority.
A mentor,
Same with our parents, or a clergyman, or when people in positions of authority talk to us like that when we're children, we believe it.
Oh, I know. It's
right?
so impactful. It's so sad because
we have no filters. Children take in everything.
But they didn't teach this kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
No.
It was not even on the
agendas. When I started, and I thought, I want to pursue this thing called self-worth, and how do we get it back? And we were born with it, so how do we get it back? And you know what, Lauren? I couldn't even find a book that had ever been written about it. I couldn't find a paper that had ever been published about it. And I thought, okay, if I want to take my self-worth back, how do I do that? Because I came with it. We all came with it.
Yeah, we start out that way.
Yeah.
That chip away at us, right? Knock us down, knock us down. And take it away, piece by piece.
It's like this little, if a little girl walked into your studio right now and she was dressed really cute and everything, and you said to her, "You are so beautiful," she would put her hands on her hips and go, "I know."
That's right. And
because they're not
connected,
right? Yeah.
It's like that.
Right. I know.
It's so true. Yes.
Well, when I was a child, in my generation, if you said something like that, you would then get a big speech about how you shouldn't be so conceited. It's not good to be thinking that way about yourself. Now, just because you got a new bicycle, that doesn't mean you're better. We were told these things, so we were minimized.
Yes.
Right? Now, maybe it's gone the other way this time. The pendulum maybe has gone too far. We got to bring some kids back into the.
That's true. So true, right? This sense of entitlement and grandiose with the social media and all that is kind of gotten out of control. I do agree on that. Not for everybody, but for most, everybody wants to be a superstar with YouTube and all these things, and they can be. And some are deserving, but some aren't so deserving. Depends on what their platforms are. But no, you're right. But then again, that's all could be a false thing too, a facade, if you will. The internet is
Mhm.
so easy to, with filters, and people just always talk about the positive, and my life is so wonderful, and meanwhile they're completely depressed and suicidal when they turn off the computer. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
we have to really be careful with a lot of this. And so if you're a parent, you really need to check in with your kids, because what you see is not always what you get, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, depression and suicide and all of these things right now are the biggest ever in our times, which is so sad. Because, and I think the internet is so powerful, but on the other end, it is so detrimental. And it's almost a balance what's happening in our society with this stuff. So we've got to really
Totally.
keep tabs on what's happening with people around us, because it's kind of crazy. Like, I'm not a big fan of filters and all those things personally. Well, you know what I mean? Even our show right here, like, we're like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, let's just roll. I like to be authentic. And I always believe, Laurie, and I know you do too, that the messages that come out of our mouths as a download, and it's the information that the listener needs to hear. And so whatever that may be, it's not scripted. We don't, put a lot of thought into this. We just kind of just have a conversation, you and I, and then the people can get what they want, take what they want, and leave the rest that they don't need. But I believe what you're talking about is so important and it's so powerful. And you seem to be the expert for so many years in this area. Like, you're the warrior of it all. Like, you started all of this. That's my hat's off to you, because it's a very powerful field that needs to be addressed and taken it very seriously, because it's an issue called life, right? Boom. There you go.
Boom. That's so fun.
Boom. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Well, it's true. I mean, because people aren't taught this in school, and they're not
Oh
made
no.
aware. And parents aren't taught how to build their self-esteem and their confidence for their children. There's no courses, but now unless there's the Laurie Davis course, right?
Oh yeah, workshops, man. Yeah, we get. I mean, the other thing is too, Lauren. When you mentioned about the schools and different. I mean, I've been involved with a lot of different systems and organizations, but
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I work a lot in the Indigenous community, like that would be your Native American community,
Mm-hmm.
and I work a lot in Canada. I've been on and off reservations, north, south, east, west, all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the northern parts of Canada.
Wow.
But here's the deal. We have out there right now, we have a lot of unhealthy people trying to help unhealthy people.
Oh,
I
good.
have a problem with that. Okay.
As you
And
should.
yeah, so it's like my little indigenous guy, he was 16. I had 10 boys, 16, all from the reservations, come to my retreat center. And this one boy said to me, Laurie, my addictions counselor, he's a dealer.
Oh,
And I
why?
said, oh my gosh. And that's not just in our indigenous communities that's going on. I'm not talking specifically about them, but I'm
Right.
just saying that was the comment that he was brilliant when he told me that, because it woke me up. And then I looked around and I thought, okay, how many unhealthy people are in those professional positions who
Mm.
have no self-worth,
And they're
who
trying to
aren't
teach
even
that.
healthy themselves?
Right. How scary is that?
Well, that's why you have people who can't get the help that they need and
Mm.
take themselves out the next day or whatever it is, but it's all very scary. So we have to have people who are their self-worth is intact. They
Mm-hmm.
know what they're doing. They feel great about who they are. And when you think about healthcare, the mental health care system, the educational system, all the systems, if you think about it. And
Right.
so what I've managed to do, a lot of the systems don't want you in there, but I have pulled people out from the systems, like teachers, for example, and then they go back in with a whole new set of tools to work with.
Oh, I love that.
And that's how I've had to do that. So,
Get them out and train them, and then let them
yeah,
coach.
yeah. And
Like, there's so many people calling themselves coaches, counselors, etc., and have not done the work. Yeah, so true.
right.
So
So,
true.
yeah. So credibility is important. And um, I mean, when I look at your body and mine doesn't look like that, and that would be awesome. You have the credibility, you see, to show people how to do that because you're the walking,
Resume.
talking,
Yes.
right?
That's right.
Yeah,
I tell people I look the way I look is on purpose. My physique is by
of
design.
course.
It's
Of
no
course.
mistake to look at me and say, well, she knows what she's doing. Do my clientele necessarily want to be bodybuilders? Absolutely not. It's too hard.
Yeah.
But what it does show is that that's just been like for me, Laurie, that's my personal lane. That's where I felt
Yeah.
powerful and
Yeah.
comfortable in my own skin. And I built
Yeah.
this because I've been skinny, I've been heavy, I've been more muscular, I've been,
Hmm.
smaller. I've been in every body type there is. So I can personally, through my own experience, kind of what you're talking about, I've walked the talk in each uh,
Hmm.
body type, literally. And so when I see someone that wants to, go from one thing to another, I've been there and I've done it. And so
Yeah.
I can coach on it. Let's put it that way.
That's right.
I have the experience. I have the integrity. I have the
Absolutely.
and even this whole
Totally.
celebrity branding. I've worked with so many celebrities now, so I know. They ask me now. I don't have to go, you know, chase people. They
No.
call me now because I've been become an iconic celebrity brand in my own industry, and that's what I'm coaching on now because I've been doing it myself, like kind of like you, for 20 years. I didn't realize this is something I can coach on now because I've been doing it. I live it. I'm still doing it. There you go. How to become an
Hmm.
iconic brand because I'm currently doing it, been doing it, and I know how to
Totally.
help others do it. And so what you're saying is that when people are unhealthy themselves and then they're trying to help other people in society, then you've got more chaos, right? I mean, how does that even? How can that even work? It's just crazy. There's this thing. It's scary to see how unhealthy people help unhealthy people. There you go. There's a quote from you.
Oh, thank you. I've been saying that for years, but that's great. Thank you. It's great to see it on that screen. And
Yes.
that's not to be disrespectful or unprofessional or judging. That's an observation I've made. And I see it all the time. It's like if I go for a service, like let's say if I go for a massage or I go to have, because I love alternative medical health care,
Me too.
um, then I have to know that that person that's putting their hands on my body is not giving me any negative energy or unhealthy energy.
That's
And I
right.
can tell when within, if I walked into a room right now with 300 people, and this is only because I'm experienced, I
Sure.
can point a finger at every person who's a victim of sexual abuse or sexual assault
Wow.
just by the way they talk, their
They hold
demeanor,
themselves. Yeah, their
right?
posture.
Everything.
Yeah.
And one of
Sense.
the things we carry, and I am a victim myself, one of the things we carry is the shame. So
Mm.
the shame, some people choose, and this is another thing we talk about within the processes. When we have had trauma, setbacks, disappointments, and losses, we all pick our poison to try and soothe the soul. So some people choose alcohol, some people choose drugs, some people choose sex, some people choose, guess what my drugs were? Perfectionism and overachieving. Those
Uh,
were my drugs. I didn't do the drugs and the alcohol, but I was an addict.
but that is
And
a yeah,
so
another
there
form.
are many,
Another
yeah,
form.
it comes in many packages, right?
Mhm.
So years ago, if I saw a person on the street, I'd be like, oh, why don't you just go get a job and everything will be all right? And I was wrong because I didn't know that bag lady had also been a sexual abusive victim just like myself.
Mm,
She just chose her poison to be different than my poison,
that's right.
right? And that's the premise of my whole everything that I work from is launched from that.
Wow.
So most conventional products, programs, and services are intellectually delivered. And so it's very difficult for people to make the shifts because it has to be holistic. And
Mm,
so I work backwards on that. So I can't name any programs, but I'm just going to say when I did my research, most healing processes, recovery, all that, they only work on the behavior. Let's get him to stop drinking. Let's get her to stop shopping rather than the cause of it. So
Oh,
we go right for the cause. We go to the juggler.
okay.
You know what somebody called me one time? A
What?
velvet, a velvet hammer.
I love it. Boom. There you go. Boom.
Mhm.
Well, there you go. That just about sums it up. But no, I like that because you don't candy coat anything. And, some things get better results than others, just like anything. But I believe I'm 27 years sober. So I understand, recovery and the process. And I've been through it. And mine's a little bit different. I didn't get addicted to meetings or any of that stuff, which are great. I think that's great for everybody. But this thing about not judging people for where they are now, because we don't know their history or their background. Like you said, the homeless lady, you didn't know. She just chose a different way. Yours was perfectionism, and hers, was drugs or alcohol. We all have different things. This thing called life, and I believe choice is always such a powerful world. We can choose our poison, as you said, for lack of another word. But it's what we do with it and how we overcome some of these things that are the importance here. And the fact that you have programs and proven and strategies and plans and workshops and the modules and all of these things is just amazing. I mean, the whole world needs to know more about this, I believe. And I'm so glad you're on my show today to let people know that if they're struggling with any of these things and they're lacking in, their self-worth, which most people are. Let's put this, do I always want to level up. So do I have self-worth and self-confidence? Yeah, people have been saying that to me all the time. I get on stage in a bikini and pose and literally judge head to toe on an outer appearance. It has nothing to do with who I am as a person, how I look. And that's so superficial to me, really. But that was just one of my lanes that I chose to do. I don't know. I wish I took up golf because there's a lot more money in it. But you know what I mean? It's just kind of my lane and I just went with it, and I just kind of go through the flow with life now and kind of, God's will is how I operate now. But just knowing that there's plans for all of these things and there's always help. So wherever you are in your life, I believe if you search it out and do the research, and seek out people like Laurie Davis, who's done years and years of research and through her own self journey and her own experience, and now getting results for I don't know how many thousands of people you've worked with over your years now with 400 programs is I can't even imagine. But I'm sure you've seen a ton of results. And then the people that aren't willing to do the work, then they don't get the results, right? It's what are the other? I'm Am I right? I
You're
mean,
absolutely right. Right.
yeah. So
Right,
I
right.
always believe that people have to want to do something. Like for me, it's like I never wanted to be sober until I wanted to be sober. And the day
That's
I
right.
decided was the day it happened. And I said the serenity prayer and I never looked back for 27 years. I mean, literally never had one even desire to change things. Because one, I don't want to start over. I'm kind of like you. I'm a perfectionism and overachiever, right? And I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I want to lose, whatever every year it keeps adding on? Because then if you slip, you have to start over. I'm like, that made
I
well,
know.
it made no sense to me. So yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm
Yeah.
a winner and I'm an overachiever, so I just keep going. But it's a choice and it's a decision. And God willing, I've been able to manage that and it's changed my life and with faith and all these things. But I love that I didn't have what you offer. You know what I mean? Nobody showed me and gave
No.
me a plan or a strategy. I just had to figure these things out. So I believe that if you want to get from A to B a lot quicker, why not work with someone like you that can just take you straight through, say this is where you're at, this is the root of why you're there, and let's change it, right? And have some
Totally.
breakthroughs and get on with your life. I mean, life could be
Yeah.
amazing, but we have to, kind of work at it, and it doesn't come easy, but I just love that. I mean, I really want to look into your programs as well because I didn't even know these were available personally. And I've seen a
Mhm.
lot of programs out there, and it's all bait and switch and superficial, and they don't ever, most people don't get to the root of anything. It's just fluff, right? Wouldn't you agree? There's a lot
Right.
of fluff out there.
Right.
There just
Right.
is. So if you're on my show, that means you're not a no fluff person. If you're one of my guests on the Power Hour, because I've done the research. I don't allow just anybody to come on my show. They have to be, the real deal, the authentic,
Mhm.
be transparent, be very generous, come from the heart, and have something to offer our listeners and our viewers because I believe that is so important. This is not a game here. We're talking about serious situations, and you've got some major workshops in place on for very serious topics. And the fact that they're there is amazing. And I really want to honor you with that. And I'm really happy to know this myself, because I know a lot of people, and there's a lot of people that need a lot of help, in a lot of
Yeah.
areas. My lane, I try to stay in my lane. You know what I mean? I like the self-worth and the self-confidence, the same thing as you, but I don't have all these workshops like you do. The health and wellness has
Yeah.
been my niche,
Mhm.
and getting people in shape and all of those kind of things kind of all go
Sure.
hand in hand. Building confidence and self-worth
Mhm.
is, there you go, and realizing and making, there you go. There's a slide for you, right? You
Hey,
are
there
worth
you
it.
go.
Isn't
Yeah.
that awesome? That's one of
Kidding.
my favorite slides. We like to show
I
that.
love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's one of my PowerPoint slides. I like to show it. Boom.
Boom. I
Yeah.
love that.
That's new today. That's
I
what it's
love
like,
that.
the boom. Well, yeah, because we're both direct. We don't mess around, and I think that's why you and I connected right away. I haven't met you in person yet. I haven't had the honor, but I know I will. Our paths have gone across for sure. I've been on your show, now you're on my show. That's just the beginning. But we really, I believe, have that same passion and purposeful mission and vision to really make an impact, especially influence other people that are hurting and not really stepping into their full potential. And I believe, through doing the work and making that decision and staying committed to it, making a stand for yourself, and then following through, and that thing called implementation. You've said it millions of times here, and I do too. Take the action and realize you're worth it. And this life can be amazing, but we have to want it, right? So nothing just hand it to us.
No.
At least not most
No.
of us. Some people
No.
have it, but even those, I've worked with a lot of very wealthy people that aren't necessarily healthy. I mean, here.
Well, I was going to say to you, yeah, my clients have included everything from, and this is not to range people according to any kind of a hierarchy, but um, there's no amount of money, no amount of education, no amount of fame, a renovated kitchen, another baby, a new relationship. None of these things will give you back your self-worth, which was stolen from most of us by the time we were 18. Most of us were walking around with none. And that doesn't mean you're not accomplished or you're not successful in the eyes of certain people, but I think about some of our celebrities
Mm,
who, in the most recent of years, took their lives.
I was
You know
going to
what? I
say
know
that.
for sure if I'd had them in my space for about 15 hours, they'd still be alive. And I
Mm,
can say that with complete confidence.
confidence. And you know what? I believe you, because they have that emptiness inside. Like you said, no matter
Well,
fame and fortune, sometimes it's too much. You know what I
yeah.
mean? They have too much, and that a lot of these people they do crazy things. I've been around a lot of celebrities too that they're out there,
Yeah.
right? Because they're bored. You have
Right.
everything done for you. Like, you don't even have to make your own bed or cook your own food or pick your own
Yeah.
clothes. You don't do anything for yourself. You have housekeepers, like everybody running around doing everything for you. What's left? You have to create crazy
Well,
things for
it's a lack
entertainment.
of, yeah. And um, it's a lack of self love.
Mm,
Okay, suicide. I know, and I've had personal experience with that because I lost my first husband when he was 34. So that was my first experience with it. And I knew then that was just totally a lack of self love, a lack of self worth. It
hmm.
has nothing to do with all this other stuff. It's an inside job.
Absolutely.
And when you have that, the world is your platter for sure. But it's the lack of self love. And I always say depression. Depression is a form of anger, and it's about your past, unresolved issues. Anxiety is a fear of the future,
Mm,
worrying about tomorrow, worrying about next week. So then where's today gone? Out the window, right?
wow. Yes, that totally makes sense.
Okay, so
Yeah,
depression
so
is
many
about
people are
your
one or
past.
the other.
That's right.
That's why
People
they
have a
live in the moment,
yeah,
right?
right. So yeah, so that's me.
That's,
Oh, we must
yeah, your
remember to
book.
mention.
Yes, wait, let's bring up your book real quick. Yeah, because we're coming to the end. Yes,
Yes, I know.
right, the entrepreneur.
So, beautiful Canadian compilation book with international entrepreneurs, however. And I was honored to be invited to be part of that this year. So
Beautiful. And it just
I
came
just
out,
got
right?
them. I just got them last week, hard off the press here.
Okay. There you
There we
go.
go.
And there you are. I love it. So people want to get to work with you and read your book. Like, how can they find you easily?
I have a personal website, www.lauriehdavis.com.
There it is.
And see, that's me
Boom.
when I was 5.
Okay. I love it.
And of course, Facebook page, The Laurie Davis Show Facebook page. Great way
Okay.
to get in touch with me.
Perfect. Beautiful. All right, my dear. Well, there's not any more questions for right now. Make sure you check the replays and you post it on your social media, Laurie, because
Yes,
there's
I
a lot of
certainly will,
great
Lauren.
Yeah, I would love for people to see this more and more because what you're doing is just so impactful. I believe for the world, we need people like you. We need your workshops. We need strategies to get our mindsets right and realize that we are worth it, right? Just like that my big post
Totally.
said, you are worth it. Boom.
Boom. Did you see that?
I love it. I love it. You are worth it.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Awesome. We've got some people thanking us. Great insight. Depression is regret. Anxiety is, it's hard for me to see this. Let's see.
Oh, somebody said no fluff here.
Yes, I just fear the future.
Depression is about the past. Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of great comments. So yes, my dear. Well, I'm going to let you go. You can stay here.
Okay.
You're welcome. I've just got some,
Yeah.
things to
Thank
wrap
you.
up, thank my sponsors and all that. Yes, Lord, I can't wait to see you again, and we'll have another
Okay.
coming up soon.
Okay.
Thank you. You rock. Mwah. That
Bye.
was Laurie H. Davis. You guys make sure you jump in. Yes, round of applause for our special guest. I appreciate her time being on the show with us, sharing her insight in her 30 years of work. You guys, this is so important, so powerful. And if you are suffering from depression or anxiety or addictions or any of these things, they are definitely things that you can work through and realize that you are worth it, that you can help with your self-esteem, gain back some confidence, and start living life that you deserve to live. It doesn't have to be this horrible thing. That's right. You are worth it. Have your faith. Get your faith in order. Get your health in order. Get your mind right. And it all starts with mindset. And we all talk about that. There you go. Mindset is everything. It is so true, you guys. And there's plans. This thing that we're not saying this stuff is easy. Let's just, be straight up with one another. This stuff takes work and it takes an investment in yourself, whether it's hiring a coach or working with someone like Laurie or working with someone like me that helps in these certain areas. But you have to realize that with that investment, you're going to get a breakthrough and you get results. And then everything levels up. I say this every time because it's so true. With that being said, if you would like to be a guest on the Power Hour with me, your host, Lauren Powers, your faith and fitness queen, please go to the website, powerhourtv.com/guest. I'll say that again, powerhourtv.com/guest. Fill out an app. We'll look at that. My team will decide whether you're a fit for my show. And if you are, we'll schedule the date. It's every Monday at noon Pacific with replays available on my Facebook fan page, on my Body Breakthrough Club page, and also on my YouTube. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube, yes, please subscribe. We're building it now because all my breakthrough challenges are there. All the power hours are there. My summits are there. I've interviewed some amazing women and some of my celebrity stuff is there. So please go to youtube.com/C/Lauren Powers 10. That's Lauren Powers 10, or just search Lauren Powers and it comes right up. Please hit the red button and subscribe because I've put all my content there and you don't want to miss anything. What else? My sponsors. Oh, there's LA Fashion Week. Yeah, on the yellow carpet, the Rolls Royce. There's that Sita Couture dress I was wearing. I'm not a big maxi dress wearer, but so for some reason everybody loved this one. So she gave it to me. Very exciting. But yes, there's more photos. Yeah, fun photos. You can go to my social platforms as well. I've always got fun, exciting things happening there in my life because I choose to. This is again my choice because I feel healthy enough and I have enough energy and I take care of myself and I love socializing. And so this is what I choose to do. So anyways, you can do it too. Listen, I'd love to talk to you guys. Let's jump on a call. It's free for my listeners and viewers. Just go ahead and scan the code or go on my link online. Just go to laurenpowers.com. My link's right there, or go to the calendly.com/body breakthrough club. That is to jump on a free call with me and we can figure out where you're at, what's going on with you. And if I can't help you, I'm sure I know somebody that can. So let's do it. It's free. Please jump on a call with me. This time, I'd like to thank a lot of my sponsors. These are things that I personally endorse and I use, I take, I've got results. And if I put my name on these things, you guys, that means because it works. Egg Whites International. This is what I drink every single day, sets my metabolism for the day, and also burns body fat. And it's a weight loss and very healthy protein. What else? Euphoria. I take this every day. This is my supplement. I'm a celebrity ambassador for the company because I swab the cheeks. We send in your DNA for a report and make a custom VIP supplement just for you. So I take one vitamin every day when I travel. It's just one thing I have to go through, and it's fabulous. Been doing it for over a year now, and I just love it. So if you'd like to jump on that, and also, if you love chocolate, this is a healthy way to get skinny eating chocolate with livekaya.com/Lauren Powers. This is another product I totally endorse. I love it. They have probiotics, a fat burning powder. I drink it every day in my coffee. I just put a little scoop in it. Again, burns fat. Perfect. There you go. And it comes in chocolate form. Love it. And what else I have there? Yes, my clothes are by savvy.com/fierce females. Super cute, you guys. Very, very affordable, very fashionable and comfortable. And it's a lot of athletic wear as well as luxury line of clothes. They come out with new stuff every single week. So it doesn't get boring. So that is the savvy.com/fierce females if you want to check out my clothing line. And what else? Yes, so make sure you check out the Power Hour. I'm streaming on Apple, Stitches, Google, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, to name a few, and actually on live on Amazon Music and Audible, as well as Roku and I believe Amazon as well. So please join me, jump on and be a guest, subscribe to our YouTube. Yes, and there you go. Boom. What time is it? We're right at the top of the hour. So that's perfect. I love it. So you guys, I want to thank you for joining us on another episode of the Power Hour. I hope that was informational for you. I know it was for me personally. I love having entertaining guests, but not only that, but they have some very deep information to share with my viewers and my listeners. So with that, I'm going to call this a wrap of another episode of the Power Hour. So be strong, be fierce, and be you. Boom. Perfect.